This episode is brought to you by Pepsi Wild Cherry. Pepsi Wild Cherry is bursting with delicious cherry flavor and a sweet, crisp taste that gives you more to go wild for. Getting wild may look different these days, but whether it's opting for a solo Friday binge watch or a big night out, everyone can indulge in their wild side with Pepsi Wild Cherry. Also available in Zero Sugar. So grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
To do another episode with you, although I feel like you've made me watch so many minutes of television. Like the God Warrior episode was 2 episodes, yes?
Yeah.
And then 49 minutes of the Muppets, my girl.
You're our diva guest.
I love trash. What can I say?
I think I blacked out that entire time. So when we get into specifics, I'm going to be very hazy about what I watched for the Muppets, because that's what Marie picked.
Well, to be fair, there are some like lower points, like check your phone time. During the episode, at least.
We have producer Matt mic'd up because he is a huge Muppets fan.
Yes, I love it, Matt.
He'll probably do most of the talking because me and Kathleen both got here and we were like, we don't know what we watched.
No, I love it. I'm here to talk.
Spoiler alert, I reread a chapter in the Jim Henson biography just to take down notes about the making of this special.
Hell yeah, I love that because I was doing research just on John Denver.
Perfect.
During one of the
Then our powers
songs.
combined, we've got this entire thing on lock.
I do have a lot of logistics questions, but I think I spent 49 minutes trying to decide if John Denver was hot or not. I think that's what I spent the 49 minutes doing.
Can I give you a factoid that will make him jump into the hot category because it's pretty awesome?
Well, I mean, Country Roads Take Me Home is enough to make him hot, but also my favorite John Denver song is Thank God I'm a Country Boy.
Yeah.
I sing
Yes,
that.
me too.
Dude, that's a great song.
So do you know about John Denver versus the United States government?
Whoa.
Okay.
This is, yeah.
I do.
Tell me.
In the 80s, was it Tipper Gore?
Yeah, it was Tipper Gore.
Yeah, Tipper Gore. But Tipper Gore, I think, was the catalyst. Walked in on her daughter listening to Prince and was so taken aback by how sexual the lyrics of a Prince song were that she decided that it was time to ban any music that had foul language or anything in it. So they put together this whole thing to like hold the music industry responsible for everything. And the music industry was like, we need people who are willing to go in front of the Supreme Court and defend music. And the only people that agreed to do it were Frank Zappa, who was just like this weird like stoner, Dee Snider of Twisted Sister, and John Denver. And like John Denver, they said, was like the ace in the hole for this whole thing because everybody loves John Denver. And he's like the most wholesome person in the world.
Yeah, his music has no expletives whatsoever.
Yeah.
But he was like, well, when I was first starting, people wouldn't play my song Rocky Mountain High because someone misinterpreted the lyrics as being a song about smoking pot and not just about the beauty of seeing the countryside. So how can I trust that any of you won't misinterpret other people's lyrics and cause them to be held accountable for that?
Yes.
So that's why we have parental advisory stickers, is that was like the middle ground that they came with, was like, well, then we'll put a sticker on it. But then the other thing that's crazy is that, because of course the government can be really shitty if you stand up to them.
Yep.
Frank Zappa had a parental advisory sticker on every album he put out after that hearing, and they were all instrumental albums.
Bunch of fucking narcs, dude.
Like,
What?
Bunch of narcs.
They are narcs.
Truly. That's an amazing story, though. Yeah, I mean, after 49 minutes, I decided, yes, John Denver is hot. And then I'm so sad he's not alive anymore. I wasn't aware.
I know.
It's a sad death, too.
I always felt like such a badass when I got a CD that had a sticker on it.
I forget who it was, but someone, I think it was Dee Snider, who was interviewed, was like, yo, like giving us the parental advisory sticker was just like a way to guarantee that we'd sold like 10,000 more units than previously.
Yeah. Mom got me Eminem CD when I was in like 6th grade. Yeah.
Like Curtain Call or something.
Yes, Curtain Call. That's exactly what it was. And it was so bad, but I fucking loved it.
Sublime Self-Titled was my first parental advisory record.
We have terrible parents.
Mine was Blink-182.
Love that. Matt still buys parental advisory CDs because he is a physical content man. He's got DVDs. He's got CDs. Still,
last one I bought was Eminem's new one. All right.
Let's hop into the episode.
All right. Tell us why you picked. Actually, let's say what is the actual title? John Denver
and the Muppets Christmas Special.
John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together.
Yes.
Spectacular. Go ahead. Tell us why.
Yeah. So I picked this because I have really fond memories of it as a kid. And I'm not even talking like 7, 8, 9. I'm talking like 3, 4, 5 years old, like sitting, watching my parents taped VHS of this over and over around Christmas time.
I love that.
Yeah, I can see that nostalgic piece. Like even when I've never seen it before, but when I'm watching it, I'm like, I can see this just either being on in the background while you're like hanging out in the Christmas trees in the corner and it just feeling like Christmas. I love anything like that.
God, me too.
Yeah, and I was a huge Sesame Street and Muppets kid to begin with, so I think this was just like an extension of that, and my parents were like, John Denver, Muppets. Hell yeah.
Right?
like let's sit her down in front of the tube and like get some stuff done while she watches this.
When I realized that it was 1979, I was like, okay, this is really good. I don't understand the logistics of the Muppets by any means. I've never seen any of it. I don't even know that I watched like Sesame Street or anything that's like it's fucking puppets.
So here I am to fill you in on the logistics of it.
Hit it.
So Jim Henson, he is my hero, period, end of sentence. Julie can back me up on this. Like, the love that I have for Jim Henson is unreal. So prior to Jim Henson, puppeteering was primarily marionettes, so like the things on the little strings, or like the person would be sitting there with like a ventriloquist dummy, and they couldn't articulate. Jim Henson was the first person to think, well, if we made it out of felt, it would be a lot more durable. So you could do like the head turns and you could like scrunch up your hand to make it have like these facial expressions that like a wooden dummy wouldn't have. So he started building all of these things out of just clothing. He would like get his mom's old coat that she didn't want anymore and cut and sew it together and like glue eyeballs onto it and be like, this is Kermit the Frog, and like play around with it. So when they started doing the shows, he came up with this idea where they would build sets that were 8 feet high in the air. So the puppeteers had their hands over their heads the entire time like this, and then they had a headset with the microphone, so you're hearing the actual audio of them talking in real time, and the entire lower area, like if the set's up 8 feet, the whole lower area has televisions that are showing them every single camera shot that they're in. So they're watching themselves as they move around.
Like a mirror.
Yeah, it was like this revolutionary thing in television. And then he started coming up with ideas on how to put motors inside of puppets so that you could do like he basically is the godfather of all animatronics and all practical effects. So for the origins of this specific thing was he had been doing the Muppets for like commercials, and he would show up on like TV shows and this, that, and the other thing. And he had helped out with Sesame Street. So while doing all that, he got
man, you are passionate.
Dude, I love this. While doing all of that, he got scared that he would be pigeonholed as exclusively a children's entertainer, and that no one would take him seriously, and he wouldn't be able to do other stuff because he had went to art school. He had done like trippy short films. So he wanted to do an adult puppet show that became the Muppet Show. And the whole point was that it played later at night. It was at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and it was a little bit more adult humor, not like offensive, but just like puns and like wordplay that might go over a kid's head. But no one wanted to do it. And he had to call in all these favors. And John Denver was one of the people who was like, oh, golly, I love
John Denver, man. He will stand up and do anything.
Yeah, he was like, I love the Muppets. I'll do it. And when he flew out and they shot their episode, him and Jim hit it off so quickly because they had similar personalities that supposedly they finished filming that. Jim Henson called him like 2 days later and was like, do you want to make a Christmas album with the Muppets? And John Denver's like, totally. They wrote down a list of songs, went into a recording studio, recorded the whole album in a week. And then John Denver was like, let's make a TV special to promote the album. And they wrote and shot this in 8 days.
Wow.
Whoa. Marie, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, because producer Matt is actually our guest.
I have to say,
not you.
I didn't know that they shot this in 8 days. And I think it's so impressive that you cannot tell.
Yeah, you can't.
For the time, for 1979, this looks high quality.
Let me just say that I was picturing it. I'm watching this and I'm thinking about camera angles the whole time and just being like, someone is just like right under that table, like going like this and being, I'm like, how is this happening? How are they shooting this with a whole table full of fucking Muppets and him at the end and him just like acting with these inanimate things? I'm like, this is so good. And also, is Miss Piggy like always kind of a hoe?
Yeah.
Because I love that about her.
Yes, she is.
Oh, good.
Before we jump to the table read scene, we got to talk about the 12 Days of Christmas, because this version of this song has become so iconic. Like, I hear it on Christmas mixes all the time around Christmas time. And I feel like the bit of Fozzie constantly messing up his verse is so fun. And like, I can see now that my personal sense of humor draws a ton from Muppet stuff. Like, I love that shit when people like miss and they're like, oh darn, not again. Just like goofy, stupid bits like that I love and enjoy so much. And also the bum. Everyone does that now.
Yeah, and I think this was the first time it happened, right?
Yes. It's absolutely. It's from this version.
That's so interesting you say that, because another podcast I love is called Las Culturistas, and they do, at the end of every episode, they do a bit where it's like, what's the culture that made you say culture is for me? And so people will say, like, it was Harry Potter books, it was this, it was that, like saying wacky shit. I feel like this is yours. Like, it might be part of yours. That like Muppets is like the culture that made me say like, okay, this is like informing how I grow up and how I'm like, I cannot think of mine. Like, I've listened to like 150 of those episodes and I'm like, what the fuck is mine? I can't pinpoint it. But you saying that was exactly an answer that could have been on that.
100%. Muppets and Sesame Street are very much like the culture and the lens with which I view the world.
I love that.
Through.
And I think that if this was your first experience watching the Muppets, which I think you said it was, it's worth noting that this got very mixed reviews when it came out because people thought that it was too tame for the Muppets. And I do kind of agree, because it's literally just like song. But like, if you wanted the true Muppet experience, the best scene in this to get that is John Denver having a conversation with Kermit where it's just like pun, joke, setup, punchline. Like, it's just not every sentence is like building onto the next punchline. And that's definitely, I agree with Marie in the sense of like, that's also really been defining of my sense of humor as well, because when it comes to writing, it's like, if you're not setting up to the next punch, like if every sentence isn't a step forward into the next punchline, then why are you writing that sentence in a comedy? And I think the Muppets is so good at just like one-liner.
Wow, I kind of want to rewatch this. And it always makes me do that, like things where I love Christmas, and we were texting about it, and you were like, I love any Christmas vibe. So and I'm the same exact way. But like, of course, talking to you and seeing how much you love it, and Matt's passion is just like vibing through the room. Like, if I watch it again, I'm sure I would be like picking up on more of these cues. But I was just kind of, I was watching it, I'm not going to lie, while I was working today. So I was paying attention. It's mostly song. It's not like whatever. But I need to rewatch it now that
knowing the stuff that you find funny. And I'm curious if Marie thinks this as well. But knowing that a lot of Muppet scenes have heavy improvisation in them, and they're usually one or two takes, I'm positive that John Denver keeps breaking during his scenes with Miss Piggy.
Yes, he is.
Dude.
I picked up on that. I was laughing. I'm like, he's like laughing at this. Like, he thinks this is funny, and he thinks that she's being like a hoe, and I love it.
He said that this was the most enjoyable experience ever for him.
Wow.
The scene between him and Miss Piggy in her dressing room. So first of all, his mugs to the camera are so good. I love them. They're like I don't love it all the time. I think there's a time and a place for it, but I think he read it exactly right. And his like little looks at the camera are just perfect when she's like basically just coming on to him. And when she makes him take off his glasses and then she's like, put him back on.
Yeah. Put them back on, John.
I can't out loud. She was like, oh, I bet he'll be hotter without them. Then she's like, no, put him back on.
He's got the kindest face I've ever seen. It's so kind. I'm like, aw, that face. It's good. It's good. He's like, I'm a married man. She's like, I don't give a fuck.
She doesn't.
He's just like an affable, lovable nature dude who like enjoys these Muppets.
Yeah.
I really love when the Muppets interact with actors or celebrities. And you can tell how much the actor is like enjoying and loving the Muppet and kind of like seeing them as a real character, not just like someone, below them, like, rap, rap, rap. And John has that. He has like a little sparkle in his eye. Like he's loving every second he has with the Muppets. And it's fun to watch.
Wow. I'm smiling listening to you say that.
Yeah, that's like my dream. My dream is to get famous enough to do something with the Muppets, whether it's like on camera or behind the scenes. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I know. I just want to interact with one.
Well, I think it's kind of a nod to like the actual logistics and the set for someone to be able to look at Kermit or Miss Piggy and be like smiling and actually just can get in the zone and be like, I'm with Miss Piggy. I'm not with the actor. I'm with Miss Piggy. And I feel like that's a nod to how well it's just orchestrated, the whole damn thing.
Absolutely.
I think that there's something cool about puppeteering as well, which is a sentence that no human ever says.
You took that joke out of my mouth. I said nobody ever.
But there's a thing that you can analyze with like when people are puppeteering and when they're very serious about puppeteering, that there is a lot of their like subconscious that comes out within that puppet. And I know that in like the Mr. Rogers documentary, they talk about how he would use the Daniel Tiger puppet all the time because he was such an anxious person. And that puppet allowed him to like release that anxiety through a character instead of keeping it in himself. And I feel that way with Kermit and Jim Henson. That same scene that I was talking about where it's like punchline, punchline, punchline. There's also a really telling scene where Kermit's talking about how difficult the holidays are because he's on the road and he doesn't get to see the people that he loves. And if you read about Jim Henson, he lived in London while the rest of his family was living in Maryland because London was the only place that would give him what he needed to make this Muppet stuff work. So he would only see his family maybe 2 or 3 months out of the entire year. And I feel like he's using Kermit to like, I imagine myself being his son, Brian Henson, watching this Christmas special and like hearing basically your dad through a puppet say like, I wish I could be with you right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's some like heavy shit that they put in there. And I think that that's why the Muppets stand the test of time versus so many other things from the 70s is that they are really, really funny, but they're also very, very heartfelt and they're very sincere. There's a quote that I always remember in the first Muppets movie. I feel like it's the whole mission statement of the Muppets, where there's a character that says that having a frog legs restaurant was his dream and that Kermit not agreeing to be the spokesperson is killing his dream. And Kermit says, well, I have a dream too, but the dream is about making people happy. And the best thing about that dream is that the more people you share it with, the bigger your family grows. And I feel like that sums up everything that you need to know about the Muppets when you watch it, is that it's just about like positive, upbeat vibes and like this community of like 6 outcast puppeteers that found each other and created an empire.
Wow.
That is
Damn. Deep. Clip that and send it to them, baby. We're getting you on the Muppets.
Let's get him working for the Henson like creature feature studio or whatever they're called now.
I have no talent except for being able to talk about them. So if they need
you can
someone,
just be their PR.
Yeah.
He wasn't reading any of that. He was doing that off the dome. That mission statement.
He is a big Muppets guy.
Do we have favorite songs that came up in this?
That's funny because I was going to ask Marie that question. Go ahead.
Yes. So as we know, after watching it, there's quite a few songs in here, and some of them are traditional. But I want to highlight 2. I want to talk about "May I Have the Pleasure of Your Company" and the camaraderie, like toy soldier song. So we go into Pleasure of Your Company right after the round table read. And one thing the Muppets do really well is they embrace like the art of the American musical and the camp and the choreography and just, I guess, the general like musical vibes go along with that, because the American musical is so just like cool and crazy to think about, because so many other countries and cultures have like crazy things they've created, like opera, like is mainly Italian. There's like Brechtian theater, but America's thing is the American musical. And it's like, it's so specific in the way song structure is and dance numbers happen. And I love the way Muppets really embrace that. And they also are able to do it with like people crunched down. Like
it's impressive.
Puppets above them.
Yeah.
It's so impressive and so cool. And I just love the choreography and the way Pleasure of Your Company like sets the tone for the rest of the show. And I like, that's one of the ones I distinctly remember after 12 Days of Christmas. Like that one's like, oh yeah, like that's how we got into the rest of the special.
Yeah.
Is Pleasure of Your Company the one where there's like ballet dancers he's dancing with and on like point and stuff? Yeah, that was cool. That was like a production for sure.
Interacts with townspeople and there's like specific dance choreography.
Yeah,
it's great.
I love the like little town like Christmas vibe. Like that whole scene was so like, oh, Christmas
makes
like,
your heart swell.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and they're all in their like Dickensian like costumes, you know.
I just keep thinking, like, for 79, that's really good and really well done. It still holds
really
up.
Good. In the special effects going from the round table read with the like joke into him walking out the door and then just like the town popping up. I mean, to us now it's like, ooh, look at that cheese, like that cheese factor. But in 1979, that's intense special effects for like a run-of-your-mill television special.
8-day television special.
Done in 8 days television special. And that's kind of cool to think about, you know?
Big time.
And then the other song that I feel like plays to the height of like camp, like Christmas camp, is the Toy Soldier camaraderie. And that like the song is good, but the choreography and John Denver just like goofing it up is great. He's not even a good dancer and it doesn't matter. It's just him selling it.
Where him and Miss Piggy are like in slow motion running towards each other. I was like hysterically laughing.
Song?
That also has the Miss Piggy like getting winded climbing all the boxes to find him was also really, really funny to me.
That scene gave me like Nutcracker vibes.
Oh, I think the same thing. Soldiers,
like of course.
I love that.
They're definitely kind of like pulling from like Nutcracker vibes, Nutcracker I guess. Girl. Yeah, you're right.
Kathleen was in the Nutcracker and I saw her
like so many times.
Ballet,
you know how it be. That's why I like pointed out the people on point shoes, because I'm like, yeah, same. But this is drawing kind of a similar connection, but not at all. So when I was watching this, I kept thinking of seeing the Christmas Carol at Hedgerow Theater. Because I'm like, so we have this tiny little theater that they put on plays and shit down the road, and it's like this. It's like a really. It's like a black box theater. Yes, like it's like exactly. I don't know. It's this tiny little. Whatever, I'm fucking this up, but they can only fit like probably 30 to 40 people to watch it. But I went like every year. We went at school, and then my best friend's little sister was in it. She was like Snowball Boy every year, and we still went and saw her as Snowball Boy. But I just was getting this kind of like that old school feel and Christmassy vibes. I was like, I don't know the Muppets, and I don't have that personal connection with it, but I'm drawing it from here, so I know exactly how you feel because of how it's making me feel for something else. So I'm going to watch this again. I must, especially after hearing you two talk about it.
The whole set for that song is just like a feast for the eyes. I remember like being a kid, I remember the most the black and white tile and the fact that they scaled everything so John Denver and Miss Piggy look like toys. And the fact that they're able to do this in 1979 better than Cats did in 2019 is pretty amazing for a made-for-TV special.
That's really funny that you just said that.
Did you hear us talking about Cats the minute we opened this talk?
No.
Oh my God.
That is so
we were
funny
talking
that you
about
said
Cats
that.
as your face popped up because Julie was like, whatever happened with Cats? And Matt goes, it was like regarded as one of the worst movies of all time. And it's almost the last movie I saw in theaters too, which is funny.
Well, because I remember seeing all the previews and then being like, they just disappeared. And I guess because it.
Oh yeah, it was.
And I was like, did it
open
ever?
shut
Yeah,
in
like I
theaters.
was like, did it ever come out? Like I don't remember. I remember seeing the commercial and being like, I am fucking horrified. I'm so scared. I never ever want to watch this commercial again. And I've heard that. So I've never actually seen the musical Cats, but I've heard that on Broadway, like people come on the stage and the people act like cats and they like sit on your lap and shit.
I don't know about sitting on your lap.
That's what I've heard.
Wait, I think I've heard that too.
Yeah, like they like act like cats and they like come sit near you and like rub up against you.
I'm really concerned that when I get my Spotify like wrap up this year, that Jellicle Cats is going to be like on the top of my list because I've just been like, Jellicles can and Jellicles do. Jellicles can and Jellicles.
For me, it's
Like
Magic
watching
Mr. Mistopheles. And I mean, obviously, all jokes aside, Memory is a gorgeous song. But do you two, before I say mine, do you two have any musical numbers or songs that you were like, ooh, I'm really digging this?
I want to say one more thing about Cats, and I'm going to say it because when I was in third grade at dance class, I did whatever song Taylor Swift sings, not the original one she wrote, which I also love, but in third grade, and we had to dress in full Cats, like head, like mane Cats, and we like started in the audience and we're like doing exactly what you said. So I just think it's funny. Like 8-year-old me was like not sitting on anyone's lap.
You were like purr.
Yeah. Purr. No. Anyway.
Kathleen.
No, I don't have a one that jumped out at me. Is that if that's what you're asking, Matt?
Yeah, Julie? Nothing? Okay.
No.
So
we're the worst.
So the two that really stuck out to me is there's one that's two songs in one. It's Alfie the Christmas Tree, and it leads into It's in Every One of Us. And I didn't know this until I was watching it last night because I'd never watched this particular special. Jim Henson uses that song It's in Every One of Us in a ton of his other productions. Like every once in a while he would find these songs that like stuck with him and he would want to put them in everything, and that's one of them. And that was actually sung at his funeral. You can watch his funeral on YouTube, which is really weird.
Weird.
If you need some tears,
oof,
if you need a good cry.
Whoa.
Because he didn't want to have a normal funeral, so it was literally like an hour-long concert of all of the different Muppeteers and musicians who had appeared on the Muppets doing musical numbers in his honor. And towards the very end, every person who had ever worked for the Muppets all takes the stage with their favorite puppet, and they do a medley of all of his favorite songs, and this is one of the songs that gets sung. And he always leans into like deep lyrics. Like if he finds a song where he's like, ooh, that's like really intelligent wordplay, that becomes like a thing that he'll cling to. I've noticed just in like looking at his favorite songs. And I think in this one, it's the lyric, we can all know everything without ever knowing why. Stuff like that he clings to lyrically. The other line that I always think of is in one of the songs in the Muppet movie is the lyric, there's not a word yet for best friends who just met.
That's good for me.
Yeah, like that's like, I've had those moments where like you meet someone, you've never met them before, and immediately you're just like, I feel like I've been destined to meet you.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, is that not the best feeling? I always say fast friends, but that doesn't even do it justice.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then the other one, and this might just be because of the song, but something about John Denver's very soft, mellow voice and the rough Ralph voice doing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas together.
Yes, that was so great.
Oh, it's such a perfect blend. And I feel like that song always makes me cry.
Yeah, now that you say that, I think that would be the one I choose as my favorite. But that's because I don't know half of these songs. Did you?
No, I didn't. And I actually, full disclosure, and I don't know why it is this way. I hate the 12 Days of Christmas song. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. It doesn't matter. Like
you don't like songs that build.
So actually, when I was a kid growing up, my mom had Christmas placemats, and it was the 12 Days of Christmas. So it would be like a partridge in a pear tree was on the top and it made a Christmas tree.
Sure.
So like every time I hear that song, I just think of the placemat. But
that brings you no joy?
None.
Okay.
And I love Christmas. I love Christmas music, and every year I add it to my Christmas playlist and delete it. Because I cannot enjoy it.
Sure.
I need to download the Muppet version. Maybe that will bring me joy. But like I download like all these different covers of it, and I'm like, no, why aren't you doing it for me the way that you do it for everybody else?
What's the most famous version of that? Like who did it first, or who's the most famous?
I have no clue. The only ones I listen to are the Muppet version and the Reliant K version.
Ooh, I might like the Reliant K version.
Oh, yeah, they knock it out in 2.5 minutes. You'd love it.
Reliant K. Wow, I haven't thought about them.
It's been a while.
A minute.
What did they? Be My Escape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
Oh, that song. I'm giving up. I'm giving up slowly.
Yeah, it's good.
They put out...
Stop right there. That's exactly where I lost it.
Yes.
I never should have crossed it.
Whoa, Marie. Yes. I have like the most obscure. I love the Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson Christmas special. Like Little Drummer Boy with Ashley Simpson and Jessica Simpson is my favorite Christmas
I've never
song.
heard that.
Oh, it's so good. Like, oh my God. Talk about this, like Ashley Simpson being like, little baby, and like hitting with that like raspy ass voice. I was like, oh, I can remember like talking about you sitting around watching that. I can remember being like, I don't know how old I was. I must have been like 11. And I was like, I had my advent calendar, and sometimes they have like things you could color on the back, and I was sitting on the like with markers. Like that's kind of old to be doing that on the back of an chocolate advent calendar, just like drawing, watching this because I loved the show Newlyweds.
Yeah.
And was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And it was like in my old basement. Like we redid it after that, and I was like, I've got like such fond memories. You put that song in my ear.
Wow,
like,
I have to add that to my playlist.
Yeah, it's good.
Personally think that the Jonas Brothers stole Christmas last year.
Yeah.
With Like It's Christmas.
Yeah, that was a
I
jam.
don't think I know that.
You also like that Taylor Swift song. It came on my Christmas mix.
I love
Christmas Tree Farm?
Yeah.
Love Christmas Tree Farm. Love it. And you know I don't ride for Taylor like you do, but oh my
bet
God.
I do. You bet I fucking ride for Taylor.
If she gets money for every time that song's played, she owes me a big thank you. Okay?
Well, if you listen to it 100 times on Spotify, I think she got about 10 cents out
Not
of it.
even.
So.
Literally
that's-
no. They get paid dirt.
Oh, it's horrible. I
Yeah.
hate that. Now I feel bad for saying that.
Taylor doesn't need any more money,
Yeah.
but
Not
I mean,
right.
really, most of them probably don't, but you know, that's okay.
Marie, when you listen to Christmas music around Christmas, is this like your favorite, or do you have other song go-to shit?
Oh, my go-to Christmas music. That's a great question. So this is not my go-to. I mean, it brings me a lot of joy when I hear Muppets 12 Days of Christmas, but like the other John Denver songs in this are not on my Christmas list. I have to say, I really love, there's quite a few, but like, I love the Lady Gaga.
Ooh, what? I don't
Christmas
think
song.
I know that.
Wait, I don't know that either.
It's like, light me up, put me on top, let's blah 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 blah
Ooh,
blah blah blah. And then it's
that's
like,
hot.
but then it's like, ho ho.
Yes.
It's fun. It's really fun. Look it
Oh
up.
my God, I have to look that up.
I love the Britney Spears.
Yes. I know where you're going with this.
Only Wish This Year.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's so good.
And I also love this, like, I don't know how popular or obscure this is, but there's a artist, I think her name, it's spelled like mine, Marie, but she has like an accent over the E. So I think her name is Mari Digby. There's a song called Bring Me Love, and it's a Christmas song. It's like talking about Santa and like writing letters, but it's just like a great little like piano like Christmas tune.
Cute.
Nice.
And that's probably my favorite one.
I mean, we got to give some respect to the Hanson Christmas albums.
Oh.
that are,
I gotta add all of these. None of these are
Oh
on my
God,
playlist.
the
Silent Night.
Hanson Silent Light melody is fucking fire. It is so good. I'll listen to it all year and sing it in my car.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Hanson, What Christmas Means to Me, My Love. Incredible.
So
Incredible.
good. Also,
I love all this because I love these songs, but somehow I'm looking at
do
my
you
Christmas
have Apple
playlist.
Music?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say I could just send you my playlist.
I can send you my playlist as well.
I
on
don't
Spotify.
have Spotify. God,
Yeah,
we
I'll
gotta
send
do
you
better.
my. We'll trade
Yeah,
Spotify
yeah.
Christmas
Bye.
playlist.
Also, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Like every time I hear that,
NSYNC?
yeah.
Ooh.
Every
That's a
time
fan
I hear
fave.
the piano, like
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
yes, Christmas brings me so much joy. So I'm trying to not skip over Thanksgiving, but I did crack and watch The Holiday on Netflix, which is amazing, and I highly recommend everyone watching it.
It's a really good movie.
I loved it, and then I watched the newest Grinch.
I like the new
I
Grinch.
saw that
It's
too.
all right, yeah. And then I watched Noelle last night.
Nothing will beat Jim Carrey
Now-
Grinch though.
Noelle
It's
is so good. I agree.
Look-
We had the same opinion about Noelle, right?
Yeah.
That
We
it
do.
was not good.
No, it was.
You
It
didn't
was.
think it was good?
I thought it was.
Loved it.
I thought it was good, but it definitely. I think we both agreed that it felt kind of neutered for like.
They
an
underutilize
yeah.
Anna Kendrick. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anything that I'm trying to do this year between my Christmas podcast, this and horror movie night, is I'm making sure every show that I'm on, I'm telling people that they need to watch Let It Snow on Netflix. It is the best new Christmas movie in like a decade.
It truly is.
I've watched it like 8 times already.
It's so good. It's almost like
It's Can't Hardly Wait at Christmas time.
I was gonna say almost like the
I
modern
like
day
that.
like snow day. It's so cute. It is more like Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah, it's like Can't Hardly Wait and Empire
You
Records.
would love it. It is so good. Sabrina.
Yeah, it's
this-
Kieran and Shipka.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the kid that plays Prince Charming in
See,
Descendants.
In
I
Descendants.
watched it while decorating last year, so I was not paying attention.
Oh
I
no,
need
you
to-
got to focus. It's
Yeah.
it's some good vibes.
All right, let me bring it back because I didn't get to say my Christmas songs.
Okay.
So,
Oh, God,
Christmas
Brad.
Lights by Coldplay is my favorite original. It's so good. I listened to that like during the year. It's crazy. And Casey Musgraves came out with one called Glittery last year with Troye Sivan, and it's really good as well. I like Mistletoe by Justin Bieber.
Hell
good.
yeah.
Jam
so
to
good.
that. That's a good one. And then Anything Pentatonics is great.
Agreed. Also,
But if you
Candy
see- look at
Cane
the first
Lane.
one. Little Drummer Boy,
Yeah, it's
baby.
hilarious. Candy Cane Lane by Sia is really good too.
Yeah. In respect to Mike Bubbles, he really dominates the
Mike Bubbles?
he dominates
Mike
the
Bubbles.
Mikey Bubbles.
I was joking. I saw
Matt,
him live.
You butcher names left and right. You were not joking.
You should have brought Donna to that concert.
I should have. We know.
Wait, speaking of, I found the screenshot
Of
of
what?
our conversation. I didn't know I had it in my phone.
What conversation?
Where
Of
my
when my
mom,
mom
when
was
my mom
upset.
texted me. About.
So I'll give some background
Yeah,
story in
give
case
it
I
to
keep this
Marie.
in. So my friends had a chance to get us like really good tickets to see Michael Bublé. And I know my mom's a Michael Bublé fan, but like we were only, as far as I knew, we were only going as like a group of friends. And my mom was like, "Hey, I would love to go." And I'm like, "Mom, I would love to bring you,
No,
but
you were not that nice. Like he was like, I'm not bringing my mom to a concert with my friends.
yeah, that's probably what I said." But then I get in the car to go to the concert, and all of a sudden, like 3 different people's parents get in the car with us to come with us to the concert. And I realized that I never actually asked them if they were also bringing their parents to this concert.
So my mom texts me that night. And she goes, Matt was telling me a while back he was going to see Michael Bublé with his friends, and I was telling him how much I'd really like to go. And he was like, "No, Mom, I'm not taking you with all my friends." Well, before he left tonight, he informed me that George is taking his mother. Isn't that nice of George? And I said, ha ha, so nice of George. Let's call Matt George moving forward. Maybe he'll learn a thing or two. She said, yeah, right. And then he had the audacity to send me a picture of where his seat was. And there's a bunch of empty seats in front of him. So my response was, oh, look how many other seats I could have sat in.
Oh,
I know.
that's sad.
Horrible.
That's
That is,
dark.
I'm not gonna lie. There's like a handful of moments in my life that I wish I could go back and do over. And bringing Donna to the Michael Bublé show is
I'll
definitely
take
one.
her one time. I would actually love to see
Michael
him
Bubble.
live.
He's a good show.
Marie, I want you to talk a lot. Just speak. We've been talking, but I want to talk to you. I haven't. You were one of my fave guests.
What's up?
What's up? What's going on? What are your opinions on things? Tell me more.
I'm not a huge Michael Bublé fan. Sorry,
Yeah, me
guys.
neither, really.
Because I'm just like, oh, cool. Like, if I want to listen to a crooner, I'll listen to Frank. Like,
Yep.
True.
I don't need Michael. I'm just gonna go to the source.
Yeah.
I do love that he's like doing a collaboration with Dolly. Like he's doing a
Ooh.
Christmas song with Dolly this year. So I look forward to listening to that because I'll listen to Dolly read the news.
Yeah, me too. Michael Bublé. Yeah, I don't have an opinion. I don't really care about him.
Well, what else?
What- yeah,
Are we
what
still
else?
talking about John Denver? Or?
We could.
Marie, have you been to Disney World?
I have, not recently.
Well, the Muppets thing in Disney World has been there for years, right?
Yeah.
What's the Muppet thing at Disney World?
It's like a 3D.
Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah. So
I think that might have gotten replaced recently, with something else.
It sure did, and Matt took it very hard the last time we were in Disney. He went on it by himself because
no one wanted to go on, and I knew it was probably my last chance to see it.
Was it problematic or something?
No.
No,
just no one goes to see it but me.
Matt does this like thing where he's like passionate would be the word, but he also loved the Great Movie Ride in Disney. So we're big Disney people. We've gone a lot recently pre-pandemic, and when they shut down the Great Movie Ride, we knew they were shutting it down. So Matt went on it like 3 times by himself and was telling me how he so Matt looks like Kim Kardashian when he cries, and Kim cried by himself on the ride, and I just think of what people around him were probably thinking.
He Kim cried. Kim cried.
He Kim cried
that is
on the ride.
So funny.
And he didn't want to say it, but he also had to say it because we just always talk about his Kim crying. But I also, and maybe this is dumb, I didn't know that Disney owned the Muppets. Is that a recent thing?
They didn't always.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
That was literally, so the reason why
Disney owns everything now.
Well, so
they don't own me, I'll tell you that.
This was a huge point of contention, was that Jim Henson really wanted to start doing other things, but he felt like the Muppets were holding him back because he felt like he always had to do Muppet stuff and that people wanted more and more Muppet stuff. So he finally made the decision that he was going to sell the Muppets to the Walt Disney organization, and they were going to be able to finance and produce those, and then he could still do his passion projects on the side.
Yep.
And there was supposed to be a whole Muppets land. It was supposed to be 7 or 8 attractions. And then Jim Henson got sick and died 6 months after they signed the contract. It was super fast. So that's why the Muppet Vision thing is so important to me, is it's the last thing he ever produced before he died.
Yeah, which that makes sense. And the really only other time they appear in Disney is in Magic Kingdom during that 15-minute show.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was Disney got pissed because in their mind, part of the contract was that Jim Henson would work for them in their special effects department because he was such a smart animatronics person. So then it turned into this whole thing where they're like, well, we're not going to fund the Muppets anymore because we wanted Jim Henson. So they just cut everything and left that one ride and then just stopped doing Muppet property.
Ew,
so that's why the
Disney.
Muppets kind of just died with Jim Henson, is that they were just we paid for Jim Henson, not just for the Muppets.
That statement makes me so mad. Disney got pissed that he died.
Yeah.
He didn't quit. He fucking died.
Yeah.
His asset. He died.
We're never going again. I'm mad.
It's frustrating. The way that he died is one of the most frustrating things in the world, because it was he had pneumonia.
Yes. Yes.
When did he die?
His dumb ass wouldn't go to the doctor.
Yeah. He said he didn't want to be a bother to the doctors.
Oh, God. When did he die? What year?
93.
Oh, good year.
And Denver died in 97 or 98.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. From a plane.
These are two. So the main people in the special both died young.
Died an untimely death, yeah.
Pneumonia, that's crazy.
We're such huge, influential people in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I lied. 1990.
Same difference.
It's such a bummer that John Denver also died young, because he was a conservationist, a humanitarian. He was super anti-racism. He was just a really good dude. It's very sad that we lost him so young.
Yes, and hot.
And hot.
As it's been decided, that sweet boy face.
Yeah. It's his most defining attribute.
This is making me really love him even more too, not just because I love singing that song at the top of my fucking lungs.
True.
Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. Doom, doom, doom.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good.
Beautiful.
Way to end it on that note.
Are we ending that?
Oh, I don't know.
No. I just want to say I love that they did the German version of Silent Night.
Absolutely. I thought it was awesome that he also did some storytelling in the middle of it too.
Yeah.
And how much would you have loved to have been one of those kids watching it live in that auditorium?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. That's my last note, is I wish I was a kid there.
I love the pan out to the kids in the studio. And I love showing hello, diversity in 1979 on television.
Yeah.
I don't see that very often. And they made it a point to show like different looking kids in every shot. And I thought that was really cool.
Wow, Muppets were woke back then. Nice. That's good.
Henson and John Denver were woke as fuck.
Yeah.
Before their time. Good. Love to hear it.
Yeah, there's some nerdy white guys, but we got to throw it up for them.
Throw it up.
Way to kick off the holidays
yeah.
for us. We love it.
See, and like Julie said, I will not be caring about Thanksgiving. I'm going straight to Christmas in this moment. So you really kicked it off for me today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. And it's also just like the holidays this year in general are very weird.
Yep.
Like my family is having like a very small Thanksgiving. It's just me and my parents, and I have 3 other siblings. So normally I have buffers between my parents.
Oh, yeah.
So just me and them alone's going to be pretty interesting.
Amazing.
So yeah, I don't know. It's nice to watch Christmas specials and feel the spirit
Yep.
while we're in such like a difficult time historically and culturally.
Absolutely.
Big time. Anything, honestly, whatever makes you fucking feel good, just go for it.
I know. That's
Right,
what
yeah.
I'm trying to have the mindset of like, typically you try not to skip over Thanksgiving, but you're right.
Nah,
Fuck
dude.
it.
Fuck it. You can live through Thanksgiving around Thanksgiving, but you
Yeah.
don't need to be living Thanksgiving on
I was
November
gonna say
10th. You know what I
Thanksgiving
mean?
needs better fucking movies than they've got like 3.
Yeah.
So
I know, like barely any.
And Thanksgiving's nice because there's less pressure.
Yeah.
Sure,
But
yeah.
I mean, you're just eating food.
Yeah.
And that's
You
great.
eat food all the time at holidays.
True.
the
Exactly.
best food. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I ate ramen noodles at Thanksgiving dinner until I was like, I don't know, 18. I'm such a brat. I was the
hate
pickiest eater
that.
ever, and now I'm like, I will eat anything.
I hate that.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
Oh my
I still
God.
think turkey is like the
Wow.
worst meat
No,
ever.
I'm a big
it's like
ham
it's
girl.
the like dry ant
Some
of
high
chicken.
class taste over here.
It's not, I mean, come on.
I
It's
like
not-
ham.
Yeah, you ride for ham.
I
You're
love
such
baked
a
ham.
ham girl. Jeez, I don't even
Baked
know.
ham.
Better stop.
Don't get me started.
Well, yes, that really got me in the spirit. So this is our first Christmas episode. We're going to be ripping it all month, correct? Well, Marie, thanks for being here on our first
Yes,
Christmas
Marie.
one.
Thank
Oh my
you for
gosh.
coming back.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast. It was so great to take a trip down Muppets Lane with you guys and with Matt here too. It's so fun. And I'm glad. I know this had some Rocky Mountain highs and some low points during the special, but I'm glad you guys, saw it through to the end and ultimately enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah, we liked it. I'm going to watch it again, and I'm going to like it even more after hearing you two talk about it. But Marie, you think of any other show, and you come on for a third time as well. So we'll
Absolutely.
we'll have
I'd
our
love
guy
to.
reach out to you.
If you're hurting for more Christmas content, I'm your gal.
Okay. And then I saw you just dropped 2 new episodes of Adam Sandler Please Stop, correct? Because you've got some more
Yes.
content. Hoobie Halloween. And what's the Kevin James movie that just came out? Did it just come out?
We watched like a thriller with Kevin James called Becky.
Okay, is that new?
Yeah, it was released in June of this year.
Was it good?
It was good.
Oh, okay. Cool. So everyone go
Not
listen to
really
those.
because of Kevin.
Yeah.
Sure. Was he the main character?
He was a main character, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He played a Nazi, believe it or not.
There you go.
We just watched Big Daddy the other night, and I was sobbing in bed.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
From Big Daddy.
When, oh my God, when he gets taken.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wipe my own ass.
Aw.
I know.
know.
Little Cole and Dylan Sprouse. Bye.
Yeah.
Kenny was like rubbing my shoulder because I was like sobbing. I hate that shit.
All right, but yes, everyone go listen to Adam Sandler Please Stop, because they only can do episodes when Adam Sandler and his crew do things. So first of all,
They're
to Adam
listening to
Sandler's
him.
crew, do more things so they can have as many episodes as they want.
Yeah.
But yes, I only watched half of Hoopy Halloween because it was like on in the background when I was with people. But
I thought it was pretty bad. I'm going to be honest.
It's bad. It's his whole world is just like falling
on
itself, basically.
He was just trying to like
point.
throw too many Adam Sandler movie references in there, and it was just all over the fucking place.
yeah, it seemed that way.
Yes.
I really think that the Adam Sandler Please Stop crew should come down our way since Adam Sandler's shooting a movie in our area right now and try to get some like fan photos.
Yeah.
You have a place to stay.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's the Jewish basketball league movie that he's doing.
Yeah.
That's the title, actually. Jewish Basketball League movie.
Jewish Basketball
it's
League.
about his creativity level sometimes.
Well, I hope they just turn out all the content for you guys to do more podcast episodes. All the bad movies.
He's already touched on Jewish boys basketball leagues in Crazy Nights, so which is also a holiday movie, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've actually never seen that all the way through either.
don't.
Well,
But yeah,
I was going to say happy holidays,
thanks
Adam
for having me
Sandler.
on. This is a blast. If you ever want to chat Adam stuff or holiday stuff, give me a call.
That's you're a subject matter expert on those two things.
Yes.
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, I used to host a holiday party called A Very Marie Christmas.
Oh, I love it.
I love that.
So yeah, I got a lot of. I'm a Christmas gal. My birthday's in December.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
fucking birthday. That's why we brought you on.
Surprise.
You're the Christmas
It's
queen.
a month away.
Well, when this is airing, it's going to be like right then. Can we drop it on our birthday? When's your birthday? Is it a Tuesday?
December 11th.
Is that a Tuesday?
That's a Friday. Ooh, a Friday birthday.
Whoa.
We'd love to see
She's got
it.
a mental calendar. She's like, Friday.
Yeah. No, it's actually because I was going to take off for Marie's birthday.
Oh, right. Of
Oh
course.
wow.
No, but I
sure.
was planning on
Hey.
taking off that day.
Well, thank you for coming
Yes,
on.
thank you, Marie.
Always a pleasure. I'm sure we'll do this
For
again.
having me.
Yes.
You guys are the best.
You're the
Thank you.
best.
You're the best.
Have an amazing night.
And happy holidays.
Merry
It
Christmas.
is
Merry
December.
Woo! I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need.
And come on.
Bye. Nobody wants
Thank God I'm a country boy.
Thank God I'm a country boy.
This has been My Favorite Episode Of. My Favorite Episode Of is produced by Matt Kelly as part of the Geekscape Network and hosted by Julie and Kathleen. Check out our show notes for all of our socials and email us at myfavoriteepisodepodcast@gmail.com. Rate, review, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting apps, and we'll be back next week with another episode of My Favorite Episode Of.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.